Not a bad pay-per-view. There's something wrong with that. There's something wrong, really, really wrong with that. Okay, let's get right into the review. We are heading in to Road to WrestleMania, and it starts in the Royal Rumble of 2021. Of course, we will still be in Tampa, sadly. We'll be in Dallas, and I think we'll be in Cali come 2023. A lot of different locational issues, especially over the current crisis that we're still in to this day since March of 2020. And of course, we can all view it together on the WWE Peacock, whatever. Of course, Royal Rumble was a not bad pay-per-view. I strictly give it a rating of Amos's height out of 10. He's like at least over 7 foot, so take that as you may. So, we of course had like, what, 3 matches that were not Rumble related. And as soon as we were 2 matches in, they already had the female Royal Rumble. We had Drew McIntyre versus Goldberg, like your bigger draw in the pay-per-view other than the Rumble match. Is Goldberg. And he comes up opening the show. The biggest thing was a spear over to the barricade, Claymore kick after Claymore kick, spear over spear. Jackhammer got a near fall even though it was sloppily executed. It ends with another Claymore kick. Lackluster story. It was just finisher over finisher. I guess it was a telling of endurance, and they tried their best to at least make Goldberg look competent enough to still keep up with a guy like Drew McIntyre. It was a forgettable match. McIntyre didn't look cool. Nobody looked big over the standpoint of that. In just my opinion, it was one of the weaker parts of the show. And I don't want to say that because I like Goldberg. I don't mind Drew McIntyre, but they need to do a lot more, especially to pull my interest, especially over the opening contest. Decent timed match. We also had Nia Jackson and Shayna Baszler against Charlotte Flair and Asuka for the women's championship, for the women's tag team belts. Yeah. So Nia Jackson, Baszler won. So they get their belts back. I guess that's what you want from the kickoff. Yeah, that's kickoff. Asuka's like, I don't know, what's the point of kickoff? When people are just going to view the stream anyway, there's no point of having that stuff on kickoff. Just make your matches short. There's nothing wrong with making a short match. We also had Sasha Banks versus Carmella for the SmackDown Women's Championship. We had counters over Meteors. The match was, it's just the same match. There's no differential standpoint other than Sasha, like Carmella being like, I'm better, yet I don't beat her. I get wins off everybody else. And there's no threat. I mean, I like the entrance, what everybody keeps talking about. The entrance is sexual, fashionista-esque. I just wish Carmella had a bit more charisma, or at least actually looked more attractive. And over that standpoint, I don't really care. The Sommelier, like, took a slap and then a Hurricane Rana. After counters off that armbar that barely gets the submission anymore. So it sells that Carmella's not even a good technician. If you have her as this little inspirational IG model, why not just make her a manager at this point? Because she loses twice on pay-per-view. Same thing's going to go into the Kevin Owens and Roman Reigns match and how I felt about that. So it ends up with Sasha Banks winning off the bank statement over a complete surprise rollout from another submission attempt. And it ends with Sasha picking up another win. She survives another month as women's champion. Please unify these belts. I'm being really honest at this standpoint. Please unify the women's belt. I don't care if you keep the mid-card. It's fine. I don't care that the mid-card belts don't have to unify. The roster is as big as it is that you guys can keep 2 mid-card belts. But if you want to do the women's division a favor, get the top women that you think should be over by 1 women's championship, and at least keep the tag team women's belts. To at least keep a standpoint of women that you need to keep together to work on the wrestling, and women that you know can carry the women's division. It's just more sense. I don't mind Sasha and I don't mind Carmella, but they're just not going to be the standard over television if you're going to make this a brand split. And this thing come WrestleMania, or people are not going to watch. Especially if you want to make this a consistent standpoint of a story. Because what else are you going to have on SmackDown? Sasha Banks versus Billie Kay, Liv Morgan, Ruby Riott. Some of these women I do like. They are talented females, but they're just not going to carry over a product that people are going to remember what happened over that week. Standpoint. They're just going to see two little girls wrestling with no standpoint of a character. And that's what really like weakens the standpoint of what happened last year when they had Asuka, Kairi Sane, and Nia Jax, Bayley and Sasha Banks main eventing. Nobody's going to know who these 5 out of 10 chicks are. Some of them are barely that interesting over in the ring. And Nia Jax just kills people's career. Look at poor Kairi Sane suffering 2 head injuries. And then what happened to Dana Brooke just recently in just a regular match. Gotta be kidding me. I think that was off a Samoan drop. Other than that, average match. Next up, we had the Women's Royal Rumble. Of course, number 1. And then we had number 2. Number 1 was Bayley. She put Cole's last name on her head. That came out of nowhere. I guess is that some insider thing. I don't care. Bayley's not that funny. Naomi came back. I guess great. Good to see her back. It's always good to hear that a person comes back from injury. Number 3 was Bianca Belair. The weirdest spot was okay. Bianca, as soon as she tossed out Naomi, she was still on her back with her legs up, so it didn't count over an elimination. Got her feet down. They started tussling until they just rolled back up to just show athleticism. Then it was just athleticism, no story at all to try to toss each other out. And then we just had a plethora of NXT chicks. Some I like, because they're hot. Dude, Toni Storm got thighs for days. Shotzi Blackheart just looks like somebody that rejects tons of guys in a freaking Hot Topic. Then we had Victoria. We had Jillian come back. Mickey James come back. Kay and Billie Kay and Peyton Royce that came out earlier did try to do the iconic pose, but she sort of couldn't have for some apparent reason, even though it hasn't been explored. And plus, you guys didn't break up because of personal reasons, other than that one-off slap that Peyton Royce did to Billie Kay. You guys forcibly broke up because the Riot Squad kept jobbing you guys out. So I don't know what was the awkward standpoint of that, other than I guess because of the quick alliance that she had with Jillian. Other than that, oh God, why was Jillian back? Sometimes it feels bad to feel old, bro. Well, most of the time. You had Charlotte coming out over in number 15, doing her thing. Then, Lacey Evans. So I guess they're doing the standpoint of taking the belt off her, taking the tag belt off her, so they can do a storyline involving Charlotte Flair finding her own identity and Lacey Evans being Ric Flair being Lacey Evans' sugar daddy. I don't mind this whole thing. At least it's gonna give us at least something different out of Charlotte. Thank God. Bianca Belair was still doing the thing, even though I wasn't seeing much of eliminations unless it was coming from Naomi. Nia Jax came out earlier with the terrible vibrant colors. Same thing went over the eyeshadow, the yellow eyeshadow on her freaking eyes looked terrible. Same thing with Shayna Baszler. She looked like profoundly ugly. It looks like just freaking ash on her face while getting like some kind of fire demon punched her in the face and she's stuck like that with weird gold attire. Same thing mixed over with Tamina. Natalya came up at number 30, and I was like confused, like why would Natalya be at number 30? Some random NXT jobber came. Alicia Fox came back. That was nice. I heard that she was rehabbing over the year she was gone, and she took R-Truth's 24/7 championship. Then she got pinned after she got eliminated. We had some drop kicks. Rhea Ripley came out looking like she's just signing up for an interview for a new job with her little weird little bowl cut thing. gets drop kick. I think she eliminated 2 chicks in just her first few minutes. Natalya just felt like, oh god, just felt so empty in there. Like, just quit, please, God. So it ends up with Bianca Belair surprisingly winning. I called it. You guys don't see me in a podcast. I called over for Bianca Belair to win and Braun Strowman. Sadly, Braun Strowman, I got wrong, sadly. It was the Rated R Superstar Edge. We also had Lana back, if you guys didn't know. The most eliminations I think caught up over most of this was 7. 7 off of Rhea Ripley. So you got to give it to them. So Rhea Ripley led in eliminations out of second best over. Oh my gosh, she just eliminated a lot of chicks. Alexa Bliss came around with a mix of her gimmicks. It was a decent Rumble. Bianca Belair at the number 3 spot. Successful enough to eliminate the final 4 people in the Rumble. Surviving for that long, even though it felt like rest spot, joke. Rest spot. Let's get into another reference. Joke, 24/7 jobbers come out because we used to have like 20 and now we have like, 5 guys with Akira Tozawa involved. The match only had like one semblance of telling a weekly story with the Charlotte Flair and Lacey Evans thing. Even though they've been doing this overly dying freaking identity crisis gimmick thing, storyline thing for like years. But I'm sort of interested in how this is going. But yeah, that's practically all I gotta say about the female Royal Rumble. It tried its best, but it wasn't as good. We also had Roman Reigns versus we tried as hard as the guys from 20 years ago. I said Roman Reigns, not this pussy. Don't talk to the Undertaker like that, Roman. So we had Roman Reigns facing off against Kevin Owens in the last man standing match for the Universal Championship. I heard also that Roman Reigns suffered a minor concussion or injury over forklift senton from to a table backstage where there was like an empty ring and a commentary table where he also took Kevin Owens for a Samoan drop, tossed him over the window. There was big boots, cannonball senton, clothesline. Shockingly, no Jey Uso. Don't even know the information why he's off television. He wasn't even in the Rumble match, even though he was primed to actually be in there. Yet he wasn't. He isn't even written off by an injury off Kevin Owens. So I don't know why he's not even competing. Kind of odd. Drop kick. Superman punch over the opening and near the ending of the match. As soon as Kevin Owens was Roman was leeching out with handcuffs. Surprise, Kevin Owens tries to come back, super kicks him and locks him down where he was nearly at 9. Tosses the referee at the light post to buy some time and low blow Kevin Owens. Paul Heyman comes with the keys, and it is with a guillotine chokehold for the ending of the match. Roman Reigns retains. Kevin Owens got to stop. He's not a main eventer. He's not a top card guy. He's a guy that you have for a basic mid card storyline that can take up a bit of time. Other than that, he's just about to get the Finn Balor treatment. The guy has went over the last 4 title matches losing, and he's just not looking strong. He's looked like the unbeknownst underdog, even though it's just Roman Reigns. Who's been the best talker? Roman Reigns. Who's been the best to even look still like a main eventer? Roman Reigns. And Kevin Owens just had no time over to shine. The guy is not a bad wrestler, and the best match out of all of them was technically the last man standing and the steel cage match from before the new year. So these guys are capable to have good matches. They're just not able to have a long-term storylining feud other than better not talk about my life. You're fat. You're lonely. No one likes you, Kevin. You don't even look like a main eventer. kill yourself. That's what it looks like. And that was over the standpoint in the last couple months. Paul Heyman looked more competent than the guy that was a former Universal Champion that outsmarted freaking Roman Reigns back in 2016 with fat-ass Chris Jericho. And now you're telling me that he just now is just being outsmarted by just Roman Reigns. I like Kevin I don't mind Kevin Owens, but take away the damn stunner. It doesn't make him feel like a badass. It just makes him look like a fat neck-bearded backstage loser that, oh my god, another fat dude that can use a stunner. He has no semblance of a character. I'm just not feeling it. And if they do this again where they have to like obligate Kevin Owens is somehow a prodigal main eventer, it's just going to look weak because we know he's just going to lose clean anyway. So, that's just my opinion on the matter. If you guys think differently, love to hear it. But, yeah. Rollins returned, so hopefully they have a feud around that. But Rollins is the Messiah character when he came back in the Rumble. So, I don't know if they're going to do a feud with him and Roman. So, that's, like, I guess, completely down the water. We also had, of course, the Men's Royal Rumble. I will never get used to saying that because it's so dumb. It is super dumb. I hate that. Don't ever call it the Men's Royal Rumble again. It's a Royal Rumble match. These women are here because of a pity party and they can't get over by themselves. Don't you dare do that crap. We also have Randy Orton and Edge open within the number 1 and number 2 spot. Wow, okay. Edge has the most competent story, of course, because people know who Edge is. He never lost a title. He got a neck injury that cost him nearly most of his wrestling career over, I think, 9 years? Over a decade of his career been lost over this. What a comeback it was when he came back over in the Rumble to begin with. Having one of the better storylines of the year with Randy Orton. And that was that was opening of the year. That was already more entertaining. That was what was going on. I wouldn't have an interesting storyline to watch until Roman Reigns versus Jey Uso. And yet he comes over tonight. We had Mustafa Ali getting eliminated like nearly in the second half. Dolph Ziggler coming around doing drop kicks. Jeff Hardy getting clotheslined out. Sami Zayn gets tossed out already. Carlito came back. That was our pop of the night, folks. Like, Carlito, I spit in the face of people who don't want to be cool. We heard that and it's like, dude, is it 06 or something? That's how it felt. Sorry, man. I don't want to feel like a nerd, but that's how it felt. So, not only that happened, he tried to do his spit on the guy's face with Nakamura. He took the apple away with his Japanese ass, and he gets backstabbered after getting slapped in the face. Bad Bunny, this is competent to no athletic spots, like no super surprise athletic spots. First, because Kofi Kingston's still suffering over a jaw injury, so he came over to just do a backstage segment when he was supporting both Big E and Xavier Woods, where he got eliminated by Mustafa Ali, by Big E trying to help him stay inside. And we also had The Miz and Morrison get eliminated after Bad Bunny came and assisted, and Miz messed up his DJ booth. So that's the reason why he's angry. I wish I could make it up. It's really not that interesting. Bad Bunny did a crap crossbody, and if it wasn't for Booker T, I wouldn't be talking about Bad Bunny in this video, because that's the only reason, because Booker T's mainstream and half of the roster is, and like 70% of the roster is. So, that's practically it. Braun Strowman came over in the number 30 spot, by the way, if you guys didn't notice. So, we also had the Hurricane. Christian came back, he did his kill switch. He did a cool looking assisted splash with Edge. A little bit of Edge and Christian connection. Looking great. Guys, like most of the guys. Freaking Carlito looks shredded. He really looks better than most of the roster. Nakamura came around without his music, without the lyrics that sounded better, I guess. We also had Christian looking the same. The guy looks. I thought he wasn't in good ring shape last time. What I heard when there was that Randy Orton storyline with Drew and injuring all the legend, that crap that lasted for like 3 months and went nowhere with Drew, and he just dropped the belt at Hell in a Cell. Looks in great ring condition. The guy looks in shape, and hopefully we bring these guys back so we actually have, notable names other than a one-off appearance. I understand probably Christian doesn't want to wrestle anymore because of injuries. I understand that, but still, it was just so great to see Carlito, Christian, Hurricane looked pregnant. Just a lot of like memories. That's like, wait, hold up. Am I watching something from 2006? Because I'm seeing Carlito. I'm 2005 because I'm seeing Carlito, Victoria, Jillian. Well, Jillian, I don't know how long she was in the Ruthless Aggression. I do remember her though. Hurricane, Helms, Edge, Carlito. All we need is Chris Masters, and we did see Kane. Kane did like a freaking crazy choke slam, and I think he got eliminated over Amos. That was trying to help Styles still stay on, keep helping him over the back. Damian Priest, our one NXT guy. We only had one NXT guy. We were with midget ass Adam Cole. We were just with Damian Priest. That sure, I mean he does unnecessary moves, but the guy looks like a bit of a star. He's tall and he at least has impressive moves. He did cool big boots. He wasn't doing extra in the ring. Looks decent around everybody. I heard he was teased to come to SmackDown over recent news, so hopefully this guy gets treated well. Dominic Mysterio takes some sick bumps. King Corbin eliminates him. Lashley came over. He had Strowman tossing over Styles over the head. There was like super crazy spots. Rollins was looking under the ring, and congrats on the kid still, Rollins. Screw Becky though. Screw Becky. I hate Becky. Fennel, my Riddle. I'm sorry. Riddle just does bicycle knees and bicycle knees. He gets eliminated later on in the match. It looks so damn boring. There was like no story enticed in this. Other than it's good to see, I guess, Rollins back for some like dramatic effect. Christian and Strowman would get eliminated at the same time. And Strowman came over at the number 30 spot. They barely even did the numbers thing when it was the women's rumble. So that's when they did it, so that you could feel like there was underwhelming hype. Everybody was like left over in a low spot. Like you'll wait until you get eliminated. You'll wait until you get like no action. It was like the Fiend didn't come over. Nobody came over with weapons. It felt like there was no Lashley couldn't get the Hurt Business to help out, so he can get an easy spot for the Rumble. It's stuff like that that makes it feel like this is a must-win scenario to hit it to the biggest moment in your career as a pro wrestler. And it just felt like that. Like Retribution. We hate Retribution, but you're a faction. You have a designated leader that's obviously trying to benefit off all of you guys. So why isn't he helping you out? It's stuff like that that makes just the Rumble feels good. It feels like, oh, I have to win this. I need to win this. And especially this coming over Mustafa Ali. That come around just pinning the blame over Kofi Kingston when your midget ass got injured. Because you're a bland midget intern. Little girl hair. Little freaking gay rights Baljeep over here. Edge, as soon as Orton that was settling over an injury, he takes an execution out on the commentary table. The match was quick as hell. Orton was out like when we hit number 8 and he suffered a knee injury. And Edge thought he had the final one. Orton came with a surprise RKO. Nearly tossed him out until Edge came with a surprise reversal and finally got him out. Edge has won the Royal Rumble, and this is his second victory since 2010 when he returned due to an ACL injury that caught him out of action from, I think, like May of 2009. and he came back like January. So, what a way for Edge to come back. That's probably one of the better decisions WWE has made over the standpoint of the thing. If it wasn't going to be Edge, it was probably going to hook up with Rollins. Many people were saying Daniel Bryan, yet he got eliminated. Strowman, that was my pick because he came back second to the last minute, and they're always trying to get him over still to this day. But Edge was the better thing to go. I think it's going to be a lighter draw, and it's a great comeback story. If they need something to build over for WrestleMania, especially over the standpoint of not a lot of attendance, is not going to come at all, I guess. And I wish I would be wrong. I would love to see people at the event. And I would love to see people come over at the Rumble, because that literally makes the Rumble. You see the surprise crowd, and I think a lot of people will be popping at the sound of like Carlito or Christian, like guys that they've probably remembered coming back. So that's just my opinion on the matter. Other than that, not that bad of a show. Edge was the best call to win the Rumble. I'm excited how that's going to play forth because the guy looks in great shape. He's been doing one of the better promos I've heard in recent memories, and he at least has coherent storylines to go over, especially over the standpoint of the Orton stuff, and of course him still not getting back his world title. So there's a lot to get behind over Edge other than the other guy on their main roster. So that's all I can say. And some of you guys gotta stop disrespecting the Undertaker because he knows what wrestling is and you guys don't. So that's just my opinion on the matter. Other than that, what a way to kick off 2021. So that's all I got for tonight. You guys think differently? Comment down in the comment section below. That's all I gotta say.